began like any other weekend afternoon in Hong Kong's bustling business district. The streets below the Chinachem Tower were crowded. The sound of traffic echoed through Connaught Road Central. Then, at exactly 4:24 p.m., everything changed. Flames suddenly burst from the rear scaffolding of the tower. Within minutes, the calm skyline transformed into a scene of chaos and disbelief. Thick black smoke climbed above Victoria Harbour, visible from across the city. What started as a small spark had become one of the most intense urban fires Hong Kong had seen in years. Emergency services rushed to the scene. When firefighters arrived, the entire rear scaffolding was engulfed in flames. The fire was immediately upgraded to a 3-alarm emergency. Sirens echoed across Central as dozens of engines, ambulances, and drones surrounded the site. The fire climbed quickly up the bamboo structure, feeding on dry materials and nylon sheeting wrapped around the frame. The wind funneled through the narrow streets, pushing the flames higher. Within moments, the fire had spread vertically, licking the edges of the tower's glass facade and raining debris onto the street below. Traffic stopped. People ran for cover. Dense smoke blanketed the district, turning daylight into dusk. Authorities closed several lanes of Connaught Road and nearby Devoe Road to secure the perimeter. Tram and bus lines were halted. The heart of Hong Kong's financial zone had turned into a firefighting arena. Firefighters, wearing breathing apparatus and full protective gear, attacked the blaze from multiple directions while drones hovered overhead, tracking hotspots through infrared cameras. Inside the tower, chaos unfolded. 3 people were trapped in an elevator as the building filled with smoke. Rescuers cut through the lift shaft to reach them. Nearby, a family of 3 adults and 1 child was trapped inside a small convenience store. They pressed against the glass, struggling to breathe as thick smoke seeped in from outside. Eventually, all 7 individuals were rescued. 4 people were taken to hospital. 2 men remain in intensive care for smoke inhalation and head trauma. The other victims were treated for burns and shock. The battle against the fire lasted more than 4 hours. Firefighters worked tirelessly, switching teams, spraying high-pressure jets, and breaking through weakened walls to stop the flames from spreading to adjacent floors. Bystanders watched as bamboo poles collapsed, crashing onto the road in fiery fragments. Reporters described the scene as a storm of flame and falling debris. When investigators finally entered the site, they found the scaffolding completely destroyed. Charred bamboo poles, melted netting, and twisted steel lay scattered across the street. The structure that had been meant to protect workers during renovation had instead become the main highway for the fire's deadly ascent. Early reports suggest that the fire likely started somewhere near the lower scaffolding levels, possibly due to welding sparks, an electrical fault, or improper handling of flammable materials. But what shocked experts most was how fast it spread. Fire engineers say the vertical design of bamboo scaffolding acts like a chimney. Once ignited, hot air and flames are pulled upward in a rapid stack effect. Combined with nylon sheets, adhesives, and wind, the structure becomes a perfect ladder for fire. This mechanism explains why the blaze shot up the building in minutes, leaving firefighters struggling to catch up. By nightfall, the fire was under control. Crews continued spraying water into the charred remains of the scaffolding as engineers arrived to inspect the building's structural integrity. Drones with thermal sensors scanned for hidden embers, ensuring that no heat pockets could reignite. Roads remained closed long into the night. Workers and tenants were evacuated. Many nearby businesses suffered damage from smoke, ash, and falling debris. The Chinachem Group, owner of the tower, expressed deep concern and pledged full cooperation with the investigation. Meanwhile, the city's fire services department launched an official inquiry to determine the exact ignition source and assess why the scaffolding failed so catastrophically. Experts across Asia are now looking to this event as a warning. For decades, bamboo scaffolding has been a cultural and architectural hallmark in Hong Kong and southern China, lightweight, flexible, and strong. But this incident highlights its vulnerability to fire. When covered in nylon mesh and surrounded by electrical work, the structure becomes a potential time bomb. In recent years, several similar incidents in other cities have prompted calls to adopt non-combustible materials and stricter safety rules. Fire safety specialists explain that during construction or refurbishment, exterior scaffolding can be more dangerous than interior spaces. That's because fires starting on the outside are often invisible from within until it's too late. Vertical flames can spread upward faster than firefighters can reach them, especially in dense urban areas where high-rise buildings stand side by side. This tragedy also raises serious questions for modern cities. How many towers rely on outdated materials? How often are safety checks performed on temporary structures? And are renovation sites truly prepared for fire emergencies? The Chinachem Tower blaze is not just an isolated event. It's a signal that the balance between speed, cost, and safety in construction needs urgent reevaluation. By the next morning, the tower stood silent, its glass windows blackened, scaffolding hanging in ruins, streets still cordoned off as engineers continued structural assessments. The area smelled of smoke and burnt bamboo. The once busy heart of Central was eerily quiet. In the aftermath, authorities emphasized the importance of reforming safety protocols. Fire retardant materials, stricter monitoring of hot work permits, and smarter sensors on scaffolding structures are now under review. Hong Kong's experience could reshape building standards across the region, reminding developers that even temporary structures must meet permanent safety expectations. This fire proved one thing. In modern cities, danger doesn't always come from inside. Sometimes it grows silently along the outside walls, waiting for a single spark to set it free. In just a few hours, an ordinary renovation site turned into a massive inferno that challenged Hong Kong's emergency response system. It showed how fragile urban safety can be when vigilance fades. What happened at Chinachem Tower is more than a news story. It's a lesson in prevention, preparation, and respect for the forces we often underestimate. Stay informed, stay alert, and always respect the power of small sparks. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative and want to see more powerful real-world stories, please support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with others. Your support helps us keep creating high-quality, fact-based reports that shed light on the world's most striking events. Together, we can build a community that values truth, awareness, and safety.